server. Fight. Never-ending midnights. Centralized management, mobile and web print. Self-service portal. Serverless environment. Simplified infrastructure. Vasion fighter wins. Round 2. Security risks. Fight. Safeguard data.
Outdated infrastructure attacks.
Sunset!
Continuous monitoring. Reduce attack surface. Vasion fighter wins. Advanced compliance certifications. Round 3. Unnecessary manual processes. Fight. Digital forms and signatures. Streamline document management. Automate workflows. Feel the wrath of disconnected systems. Easy integration. Unified print console. Move to the cloud. Leverage AI. Eliminator. All in one automation platform. Vasion fighter wins. You win when you choose Vasion as your fighter against outdated systems.
And what a great video that was. I can remember countless hours of my childhood wasting a lot of quarters in arcade games just like that. So it does bring back a little nostalgia, but I think it begins to show you just how we are trying to simplify IT infrastructure, technology problems across the board. And today I'm very proud to present our fall launch of 2024, which I think will show you exactly what we mean and the different things that we're working on to help make your lives easier. For those of you that I have not met, my name is Rod Hughes, and I manage the global sales channels here at Vasion, and it's my privilege to be able to kick off all of the new features that are available in the Vasion Print Cloud. Now, as you know, the Vasion Print platform is a multi-tenant SaaS platform, so new features are always coming into the platform as they're completed. But what we've resolved to do is twice a year walk you through the new features that are there, or at least the major features that have been added, simply that you're aware of the new functionality and the new technology you have access to. So by matter of agenda, what I'll take you through today is the launch vision, meaning what it is that we're driving for overall, and a little bit of company strategy will be sprinkled in there such that you have a complete view of where we're headed. I'll then deep dive into our latest release, which we're of course calling Fall of 2024. A couple of paid commercials on the partner programs that we have in play today in case you're interested in working more closely with Vasion, and I'll leave a little room at the end for Q&A. So with that, let's jump right into the launch vision. The key thing you need to understand about Vasion is really our mission, our drive, and that's to take all of what were traditionally very complex technology and IT related problems and just simply make them attainable and affordable to everyone. The key here is we are trying to simplify what used to be a lot of work, what used to cause a lot of commotion, and just make it easier for everyone. The origin story, of course, is around our print management. If you think of what we started to do, it was simplify the deployment of print drivers, move print queues into the cloud so that IT didn't need to reboot print servers or take help desk calls to install drivers, etc. To make print as simple as it possibly could be and easy to use. With that, as we continue our digital transformation journey, that elimination of problems or simplification of technology is the key theme. Again, when you think of Vasion, it was all about eliminating print servers as really our core concept of how to make print more affordable, more easy for everyone to access, and more importantly, let IT focus on bigger, more complex problems. Print automation is where we started building out our multi-tenant platform that would enable us to grow with you and with your customers. As you can imagine, building that platform around print driver and queue management was a starting point, very quickly, security was a pivot point for the company. Starting in about 2018, we began to work toward the process of becoming the most secure multi-tenant platform out in the market today. Now, that's not only SOC 2 and ISO compliance, but also involves things like zero trust, meaning direct communication of a printer with the cloud, such that the communication or the data cannot be intercepted by a third party. But that's not all. When you look at that concept of making technology clearly attainable to everyone, simplifying more complex systems is a core part of what we do. And we've begun that journey on a couple of different platforms. One, of course, is output automation. I'm going to talk more about output automation today. Now, you may know this sense of business operations, print, and of course encompassing digital technology as well as output management. You'll see that we've gone much further with our output management solution and have completed that. That is currently in market today, and something that if you haven't taken a look at, although I'll give you a small taste of it today, you really should deep dive into. When you look at where we continue to move and what we've brought to market a little earlier in the year, the concept of document automation is key. Now, we are rounding out and completing the build of all of the document automation features that you would have in any historical or future-looking environment. Today, we have the vast majority of it available in our platform, beginning with the basics of forms and forms automation, all the way into the ECM platforms that you would know and love. And then finally, I'll talk about it a little bit more as we get through the next slide or two. I'll speak to process automation. This is where the majority of our focus is at the moment. And if you think of process automation, think of all of the business processes that you have today in your organization, whether they be through third-party applications, homegrown applications. The key is the integration of all of those siloed stacks of data needs to be completed in order to really unleash the power of all of the information underneath them. We're working very hard to, very similarly to the rest of the technologies that we've brought to market, bring that process automation step to everyone. Another way of looking at this, if you think about our evolution, is we've started and built out print automation, completed output automation. Document automation is the journey that we pivoted to next and are just wrapping up as we begin taking process automation and making it ubiquitous throughout the technology platforms that you use today. We call that orchestrated automation, and you'll be hearing much more about it as the year goes on. So let's deep dive. Let's take a look at what's new to you here in the fall of 2024. As I mentioned earlier, security is paramount inside of any data or IT environment. And we have continued to drive our secure and confidential handling of data into the platform with our newest feature, which is being called Web Print. Now, if you think about what we've done so far around security, it's really the security of the data in motion. Once it's in the system, how does it get from end to end and how is it handled? But one of the biggest holes in any security platform at the moment is before it gets into the system. If you think about a remote worker being at a remote office or offsite entirely and the need to print, how does that most commonly get done? Probably not through opening an IT support ticket and getting a driver installed and getting set up on a device. More commonly, it would be a little social engineering. Perhaps ask somebody who's not looking that busy right now, or a group admin to print whatever it is you were looking to print. The problem is you've just now given them a copy, either through email or USB drive, a copy of whatever it is you were about to print. And therefore, the security around getting into the printer is the key. The burden of using the printer natively has to be outdone by the value of trying to find a way to print and use it quickly. So what you're going to see now is our newest release of Web Print, which allows you to connect to any printer, anywhere you can physically get to, and be able to print to it without the need of print drivers, print queues, or any IT involvement. To do this, I'm going to ask Jake to give us a little overview of WebPrint so you can see firsthand exactly what it is and what it does. So with that, take it away, Jake.
The guest user will navigate to the URL that you provided them. They'll then type in the email address. They then will upload the document or documents they want to print. They'll then hit next, where they will then be brought to the document preview screen where they can validate that this is the right document they need to print. They then will select the printer they want to print to. They can then change the color, number of copies, paper size, the layout, and even change the pages they want to print. Then once they have the document how they want it to be printed, they'll then select print. They will then see this prompt confirming that the print job has been held and that there's been instructions sent to their email address on how to retrieve that print job. They'll then select the email that came from noreply@vasion.com. There they'll see the step-by-step instructions on how to retrieve that print job, as well as the 6-digit code they need in order to release it. They'll then walk up to the printer they want to print to. They'll select the printer logic application from the control panel. Select the code authentication method. They'll then type in the release code that was sent to them. They'll then select the print job they want to release. Hit print. Then the guest will be able to retrieve their print job from the paper tray.
Great, and thank you, Jake. So with that, let me move on to our next topic. I mentioned that output automation is a key focus for us, and this is something that we have built out in the same multi-tenant cloud that Office Print was built on. That's really important to understand because if you think of traditional output management solutions that are, for the most part, all on-premise solutions, the time it takes to get a customer to understand what it is, what it does, how business operations print or back office print can help them streamline their organization, do a proof of concept, install servers, and then actually install it into a production environment, it can take a really long time. Output automation or output management often take much, much longer from a customer perspective than Office Print does to set up, sell, and implement. As you pivot to look at our output automation solution, one of the key things to realize is, again, it's all built inside that same multi-tenant platform. In other words, if you have an Office Print customer, enabling output automation for the sake of proof of concept, for the sake of infrastructure, really takes very, very, very short amount of time. By no means does it take the traditional time to show a customer the value of output automation inside of their environment. So with that, let me ask Ken to give us a little overview of the output automation platform, and more importantly, show you how easy it is to manage queues inside of the platform. Take it away, Ken.
When you first arrive at the page via the output side rail option, you're going to have the tree structure that you're used to seeing from your Vasion print interface, where you can see the tree structure, the locations that you have and the printers inside them. And on this page, you're able to select the any combination of folders or printers that you happen to care about for what you're looking for. And based on that selection, you're only going to see the information relevant to your selection. There's two different views. There's the printer view as well as the print jobs. And starting with the printer view, you're able to see the list of the printers that you have selected, as well as the information about the printer, like where it's located in your tree structure, its IP address, its model. And in addition to that, if you want to take a little zoom in on what's happening to a printer, you can click on a singular device and then you get the SNMP information that we are pulling from the printer directly. And in this case, we can see that this printer is in a warning state. Maybe there's something that we need to check out on it. And if there's any issues that we're seeing as a result of this warning, we can also take some corrective action. there's two different things we can do. The first is to pause the queue. So any jobs that are sent through an output service to this printer are going to be paused as long as we have this queue paused. So that way, if you have a technician that's working on the device, then we're not trying to print out anything on it while it's being worked on. In addition to pausing the queue, what we can also do is redirect any jobs sent to it to a different printer. So similar scenario, if there's an issue, then we want to keep the flow of print jobs happening, then we could just redirect it to that backup printer, and from there, any jobs are going to be sent to that redundant device. So the second tab is the print job view, and this gives you a near real-time view of the print jobs as they're flowing through your output automation services. And I'll just go ahead and kick off a print job so we can see that pop in here with the new status. And so as the print job is processed, it's going to move into printing and then to completed. And then along those lines too, if we run into a problem, then initially it's going to retry and then eventually to show a failure. If there was a failure, there's some actions that we can take to get that job printed. The first would be to just go ahead and retry it. This is going to try to print the print job to the same printer that it was initially sent to, and it would just go ahead and do it like that. And the alternative, so maybe there's an issue with this printer, so we don't want to send it to the same one. What we could do is redirect it to a different printer, and then same idea. It's going to go to redirecting, switch over, and eventually complete as well. So with this, we should be able to take that view or the overview of what's happening within the environment without having to remote into specific machines, and not only see what's happening, but also correct those mistakes as they are, those issues as they come up.
Wow, and thanks, Ken, for taking us through that, truly showing the power of our output automation solution in the market today. Now with that, I've got just a couple of more key topics to address, and they're both built around enhanced efficiency. Of course, having all of this technology at your fingertips doesn't help unless it's simple and easy to use. So the first new feature I'm going to talk about is simply the build out to allow for mobile scanning inside of the Printer Logic app, or as we're actively trying to rebrand into the Vasion Print app. So please know that at this point, released in production is indeed the ability to scan and gather photos or capture paper documents into the app, and then be able to release it into the downstream application or workflow that you've built inside of the platform, just further enhancing the power and the number of different use cases you can address with the mobile scanning app. Next, let me also just let you understand that I mentioned earlier, forms are often the common currency of automation. I always think of PDF as being the lowest common denominator, or the common currency of print. Similarly, I think most organizations find that their beginning of a digital transformation journey really begins with forms. If you think of documents, we're just all used to looking at them, and this gives someone looking for information the ability to really create a semi-structured environment that prompts the end user to enter the correct information. The problem? All of that information comes back, and all of that information creates a lot of data that you have to sift through in order to glean the insights that you wanted from your original workflow. What we've done to make that easier is created something we're calling enhanced form results. In short, we have AI integrated into the platform. So just like you can upload a very complex set of documents to ChatGPT and ask for a summary, very similarly here, you can ask for a summary of all of the forms that have been returned, and thus let you have a quick, easy, and interactive way of summarizing all of the information you've collected. All right. So that concludes the new features that have been released into the platform and are available today. That said, let me just do a little bit of a commercial in regards to our partner program. As I mentioned when I opened the presentation, I manage our channel sales programs here at Vasion, and I just want to make sure that anyone who is interested in discussing becoming a partner knows that we have a reseller program published and in market. And myself or any part of my team would love to take your questions and see if you're interested in becoming a resale partner. Now, resale partners are our dominant partner today, but I want to also just make sure you're aware that we have a fully formed MSP partner program. Now, if you don't know what this is, you can ignore me for a moment, or if you're not sure what an MSP is, you can ignore me for a moment. But if this is part of your business, please, again, feel free to reach out to my team or I. Again, we have a very robust program here with a custom portal, different billing terms than traditional resale would allow, competitive pricing tiers, and again, puts all of this cutting edge technology not only at your fingertips to manage your MSP customers, but also gives you the ability to deploy it to your end users such that they can begin their digital transformation journey. I want to just take 1 extra minute and thank everyone for attending today. I really do appreciate your time. And with that, I'm going to turn the call over to questions and answers. So please, anything you have, feel free to ask, and we'll do our best to answer it today.